What is the most memorable NSFW thing that happened in high school? We were reciting our own poetry for our 11th grade English class. Girl had her phone between her skirt, and I guess every time she got a text or something, it would vibrate and she would kinda squirm. It was interesting to watch since I was across from her. English teacher got pregnant by my high school quarterback, who was also the police chief's son for my town. Senior prank gone wrong. Every once in a while the school Olympic-sized pool needed to be chlorine-killed for cleanliness, and it was unusable for a few hours until the chlorine adequately dispersed. This is important. Senior prank time rolls around and a bunch of the seniors decide to buy pickup truckloads of dry ice to dump in the pool to mist up the school. Well, these geniuses accidentally timed it with chlorination schedule of the pool and blanketed the whole school with chlorine gas. It was shut down for a week, literally NSFW. My math teacher told us if we all got A's and B's on our test, he'd dye his hair green and rollerblade down the hallway. We all passed, and sure enough, he showed up to school with green hair the following week. During class transitions he was out rollerblading down the hall, when he thought it would be funny to mess with a jokester student. So he grabbed him and tried to push him in the girls' bathroom as a joke, and another student trying to help ran up behind them and shut the door. The tip of my teacher's pinky finger was near the hinges, and it was sliced off. Blood was everywhere and the tip of his finger was just lying there in the floor. To make matters worse, they sent the severed finger to the wrong hospital, but he had good spirits when he came back, even naming the finger Quasimodo. Senior year, biology IB2. The teacher is kinda chaotic and isn't very structured. Late a lot. It's his first class of the day, sorta lets us do our work at our pace. So he was late one morning and we were all just sitting and chatting waiting for him. We got on the topic of piercings and one girl said she recently got one of her nipples pierced. We were confused why she only did one, and then she showed us. In class, at her desk, she just lifted her shirt and bra to show us her single pierced nipple. It took me a second to realize what just happened. Then me and my buddy high-fived or something IDK. The only proper response to a girl saying I have a pierced nipple is I don't believe you. Freshman year I took a computer graphics class. Teacher was very laid back and let us duck around the whole time. About 3 weeks into the first semester, me and this sophomore decided to play chicken. Basically it's where two people get really close to kissing each other and whoever backs out first is the chicken. Normally this wouldn't be very NSFW. Okay, two people just getting really close to kissing, but not. No, she ends up completely pulling me in and we made out for a solid 30 seconds and the whole class went absolutely ballistic. Word got around really fast in the high school. Surprisingly the teacher didn't get in trouble. Edit. Me and that girl have been dating for coming up on 2 months. A girl was doing a cartwheel while in a skirt and her was in full view. The social studies teacher's boobs fell out of her dress on stage in front of the whole school. Female volleyball coach of men's volleyball. She let us have an end of season party at her place. One of the guys on the team spent the night there and banged her. 2 of our married gym teachers got caught having sex in the weight room after school. 1 male and 1 female teacher. They weren't married to each other. Yeah, 2 employees were caught doing that in the company gym where I used to work. One was named Steele, until she divorced not long after, for some reason. And the joke going around was we should go to the gym and pump Steele. Computer teacher opened whitehouse.com on the projector during a follow-along class. This was in the late 90s when that site was porn-based. Hot classmate of mine jumped on my back the first day of theater practice, saying "You're mine now," eventually led to her giving me head between scenes on multiple occasions. During a school dance, the one girl with notoriously large breasts, like unreasonably so, was dancing to Cotton Eye Joe and her shirt finally gave up and her ginormous breasts popped out. I was one of the many guys that witnessed it. It was glorious. My senior year, a girl accused a male teacher of trying to coerce her into giving him nude pictures. According to her story, he had held her behind class and told her if she didn't he was going to fail her and that she wouldn't graduate on time. The teacher was fired instantly, but it was never taken to criminal or civil court. The vast majority of my graduating class did not believe the girl because she was known for spreading false rumors. Her story gradually changed the more people asked her about it, and the teacher was actually well liked by the majority of the students. My physics teacher was an odd duck, zany and eccentric like a lot of science teachers, but also overtly racist. Two occurrences I remember well. First, during a class project, he pointed at a Thai girl, Vietnamese guy, and Cambodian guy, and said, "Alright, all these Chinese kids in one group." There was a shocked silence, but nothing really came of it. Second one was while studying the concept of tension. He used a hanging example, and asked the only black kid in the whole class his weight, to be used as the example for us to measure the amount of tension that would be in the rope if he were to be hanged. The black kid was also the assistant principal's adopted son, which he must have known, and he got fired. A senior girl, also a well-known lacrosse player and all-around snarky bee, had a sexual rendezvous with a freshman football player from the same high school at the local park and ride one morning. By lunch, word had gotten around the whole school. When they walked into the cafeteria, the whole crowd erupted in applause and cheering. From that day forward, she was known as Park and Ride, and the guy faded into obscurity. In NL, we have a fried snack called a fricandle. It's basically a floppy stick of meat, like maybe 15 cm, that you keep frozen until you deep fry it. One of the girls in my school, allegedly, used one of these frozen sticks to, do her thing. Well, the thing is that fricandles that are not yet fried are very soft. So when the frozen fricandle got inside her, it warmed up and defrosted. Because not fried fricandle is soft, it broke off inside her. She had to go to hospital to get the piece of meat removed. After a really crazy party, this one rich kid that everyone hated was super drunk. Someone claimed that his dong looked funny, so he whipped the shit out and started showing it to everyone. He was yelling, "See, see, it's perfectly normal." Then a couple dudes grabbed him and threw him in the disabled shower. Then he threw all his clothes over the wall and demanded to be let out so he could prove it. So they blocked the door with a bookcase and left him there. The janitor let him out, hungover, naked, and freezing. That night, I thought it looked a little crooked, by the way. Walked in when my teachers were having sex. Damn homeschooling. Guy known for getting girls drunk and taking virginities got one of these girls supposedly knocked up. She made a Facebook post claiming to be pregnant. Meanwhile, rumors at school were blowing up. This guy was also making posts on Facebook saying he didn't get anyone pregnant, but honestly everyone knew this dude's reputation, and this definitely brought it to an all-time low. Girl a week later says she miscarried and how she's sad she will no longer be a mom. To this day, all this dude posts about is being lonely and having no one, so I don't think he ever recovered LMAO. A guy in our high school, and their accomplice from another high school, decided it would be a good idea to bring in a bunch of pot muffins and deliver them to the faculty, and left them in the teacher's lounge as a gift. Since occasional pastries as gifts happened somewhat regularly, none of the teachers thought anything of it. The accomplice delivered the muffins, so he wasn't recognized by the staff, and they just took it anyways, and they made quite theft-potent batch. So, some of the staff eats it, all of the muffins get eaten, a few of the teachers T1, a gym coach A3 at once, and our 70-plus-year-old attendance secretary A1 as well. Needless to say, this did not go very well for her, and an ambulance was called to help her out and figure out why she was suddenly feeling so lightheaded, dizzy, and woozy. And 4 weeks afterward, our TV system. Our school had a good handful of TVs scattered about the cafeteria, student center, classrooms, and hallways to have certain announcements up. and play the school news like it was an actual newscast for a special multimedia class we had, would display messages with the gingerbread man Lord Farquaad scene from Shrek on it, asking do you know the Muffin Man all over the place. So of course everybody was wondering who did it. Turns out, the teen from the outside school was an old childhood friend I had, though I didn't recognize him from the security footage they took. Didn't know the one from my school, however. That's right, I knew the Muffin Man.